going on, man? We back up in this thing live. It feels good to be back. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is your boy. For people that just do not know me and they watching this particular video, then hey, I appreciate you watching this video. You know what I'm saying? And basically, what I'm talking about today, as I always do, you know what I'm saying? I am grassroots level with my politics. You know what I'm saying? But to really paraphrase real quick, it's your boy, Atlanta-based rapper, community activist, voiceover work down here in the city of Atlanta, Georgia. Alright. But real quick, man, let's get into the topic. We're talking about slavery and indentured servants. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanna hit these key points real quick. You know what I'm saying? I do a lot of talking about politics anyway, which I'm known or synonymous for. But, you know what I'm saying, we're going to keep doing it, you know what I'm saying. But I want to talk about slavery, you know what I'm saying, because as it relates to today, you know what I'm saying, as you still see slavery even in today's form of environment, even though we have escaped the picking cotton and being whipped and chained, it's still systematically institutionalized in some of these private sector jobs, you know what I'm saying. So I just want to bring that. And the indentured servant part of this thing is to bring like it was white slaves, you know what I'm saying? And white slaves got treated worse than African American or Negro slaves, you know what I'm saying? And to go back into the history book, when Christopher Columbus and Amerigo, which was Amerigo, a Spanish settler that came over here, and they took his name to name the country of America. Now, to go off track real quick, for the United States, as far as the southern part, where you have Texas, New Mexico, Nevada, Arizona, and southern parts of California, was owned by Spain. You know what I'm saying? Which they are known for speaking Spanish. They own that bottom part of the United States. You know what I'm saying? So when Christopher Columbus came over here and found the land, and he had Amerigo, his navigator, they named the land after him since he kind of helped Christopher Columbus discover the shit. But what they fail to state in the history book is that Christopher Columbus brought slaves as well too, and they went to Great Britain. You know what I'm saying? They just the odd thing or the sad thing about it was that indentured servants are what you call Caucasian, white, what have you, were just snatched off the streets of Great Britain and traded for tobacco and sugar, which was, you know what I'm saying, the commodity at that time, and it still is today, but, you know, that was the hot commodity, you know, for trading goods, if you will. If we'll go out and get you a couple slaves if you give us tobacco and sugar, and that's what Great Britain did as they came over here to the United States, as we know it today. But they brought indentured servants over here. The indentured servants were promised that if they worked for 5, 6, 7 years, then they would be free and be treated like the upper class white Americans over here in the United States, instead of being out there in the field picking cotton along with the African American counterparts. But once they seen that some of the indentured servants never did get free. They either worked to death or worked their lives away. They never did get to that 7, 8 year where they can be free and be treated like the higher class whites that owned slaves back in the time now. And it's sad though, but the indentured servants, white, Caucasian, was definitely treated worse than some of the African American slaves. And you know, and the reason why they went and got African American slaves were because the indentured servants wasn't putting out the work at a rate as the African American slaves were. The African American slave was more value, and it brings up the, can I get 25 for a nigga, 35 for a nigga, 45 for a nigga, how about 55? Can I get 55 for a nigga? And you get that dialect coming because the African American slaves were more valuable than the indentured servant Caucasian slaves. And some of the indentured servants wanted to be treated like the upper class whites that was in the house ruling over slaves. And you had indentured servants on picking in the field with the African American slaves turned against the African American because they felt that they were superior against the African American slaves, you know what I'm saying? But the indentured servants was definitely treated worse, you know what I'm saying? You've been guaranteed you're going to do 7 years of hard labor and you be free, and it's not true. And, you know, I also want to say for the Chinese, you know, and it's bringing me to this point here about who can and can't come in the United States and live. This is the land that was built on corruption and how they treated the Indians when they came over and took this land from the Indians and moved them west, west, west. And then you had China coming west to California looking for gold, and they was forced to build a railroad. So China owed it helped build the United States. The Spanish Americans helped build the United States. African Americans helped build the United States. You know, and I can't think of the group, but over there in Tehran and Afghanistan and Pakistan, and especially in Tehran, where they was promised in the city of Laos, where they was promised to be, you know, given partnership to come over here and stay and seek refuge. So you have a whole different background of generations of cultures that call the United States home. And to speed this thing up, to bring me to my point now, as where we going with this immigration law reform down here in the United States. The United States really need to get grip. We had a mixed culture in the beginning, you know what I'm saying, of different people that helped create the United States. So how can you tell one race they can't come in here when essentially it was their country in the first place? If we talk about Spain owning some of the southern parts of the United States. But the slaves, African American, and the indentured servants were both extremely unfair. You know what I'm saying? And I got this song played in my head. I don't know the damn song by heart. You know, it's a little kiddie song. How that shit go? This land was your land. This land was my land. You know how that song go. You know what I'm saying? And I can't think of that song off my top of my head. But I know it. That's why I need my daughter here. Man, you can insert your "Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader" joke, if you will, if you watch this video. You know what I'm saying? But the song, yeah, I remember the song. This land is your land, this land is my land. From the state of Paris to some France. This land was made for you and me. Now, I know motherfuckers know that song. So, fuck it. Like I said, you can search it if you're smart in the fifth grade joke if you feel. But on a serious note, we need to really do our history, you know what I'm saying? If we talk about who can and cannot come in the United States, you need to see all the cultures and all the races that help put the United States where we are today, you know what I'm saying? As from all ethnic backgrounds, all religions, no matter. We need to really respect each and every other person's race and learn from our history, because there's a negative history. Some of the parts of America is very negative, but we need to really zone in the negativity and grasp it and move forward, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people just need to stay abreast, stay aware of what's going on around them, and stay, even in their personal life, just have a robust plan for what you're doing for your life, stay abreast of what's going on around you, and move forward. Know your history, but also know where you're going to, you know what I'm saying? And don't belittle another race if you don't got your facts, you know what I'm saying? You know, we look down at white folks, but you gotta understand, in a kind of underhanded sense, they did kind of genocide against their own people. If you look at this indentured servant shit, because you had the upper white, slave white, and then us as African American slaves at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? So, but we're gonna get off this video, man. But we need to just do your research, man. Indentured servants, slavery, the trade that was going on for tobacco and sugar back then. Some of that shit's still going on now. All these private sector jobs that we hear nowadays still have that indentured servant slave mentality, where you have all the higher end is white. You know what I'm saying? Your white collar workers. And then you have your blue collar workers, or your African Americans, and really your Hispanics, and then African Americans. So we are the indentured servant slaves in these private sector jobs, while you had the higher upper white collar workers, while we blue collar, white collar workers being the whips and chains and masters and stuff. It still go on. Even though we got all these laws in place that you can't do this and do that, what I'm saying? Alright. So look, man. Peace and love to everybody out there, man. Simply put, man, learn your history. Learn where you come from to know where you're going. Alright? Do not be a new Negro with this shit, but learn your steps. Know where you're going in life, you know what I'm saying? And respect all race. Black, African American, Latino, Caucasian, Asian, Muslim. It doesn't matter. Respect all races, all cultures. Because in turn, we all have some of the same policies and qualities of every culture inside of us. Alright? That's your boy, community activist, brother SMP. We talking about slavery and indentured servants. On this note, I want to give a shout out to my girl Michelle Alexander for that new Jim Crow law book that she has. Alright? So get caught the book. Much love to you, Michelle. And we got this thing, man. So legal with these records. We gone.